Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? This is Kyle and Mike from the Fantasy Phenom. We are back breaking down Thursday's 5-game slate today. I just want to give a quick shout out. If you heard that intro, that is credit to Mr. Albert Bermudez. He goes by Sucio Beats. And he, just to give a little background for you guys, he produces all his own music. I have his SoundCloud link in the bio if you want to check that out. He recently just won a global competition called Battle Ilmatic, something like that. Let me pull. I'll get the exact link for you, or the exact name. Battle That by Ill Music. So that is a global competition, and he just won that competition. So, and that was not using that beat, but that was his one of his that he made. So, shout out to Albert. Appreciate the intro track. You'll start hearing that on every video coming forward or going forward.
Sucio Beats, man. That was Sucio Beats. Yeah, that definitely goes hard, gets you hyped up. I'm pumped to have him part of the team, man.
You made me restart the video to listen to it. I love it. I love it.
Hey, so, 5 games today. Westbrook was an animal last night.
What a surprise, man.
I hope
100 DraftKings
I hope you
points.
didn't fade him, man.
Unreal, man. 100 DraftKings points. 88 FanDuel points. Yeah, definitely there's no way you cashed if you faded him. I unfortunately missed the cash line on my GPP by 0.3 points. 0.3. So, as I told you guys yesterday, I was really, really high on Rudy Gobert. And sure enough, he did not perform as expected. Dwight Howard was the play.
Yes, he was. Against Philly. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, so.
Any reason why my screen is all small?
That's a good question.
I mean, if not, it's all good. But, yeah, surprise, surprise.
There we go.
Center against Philly going off. That's never happened.
Right. So, just keep playing the front court against Philly, man. I was expecting a little more from Ilyasova. Unfortunately, he didn't quite do what he was
expecting. I know.
He had a great first half.
Blew my lineup a little bit.
Great first half. Almost at value in the first half, and then got 3 points the whole second half. So,
yeah, I wasn't really around much to watch the early games. I watched both the late games. I was out meeting with that guy. So, yeah, that was a interesting finish to the Dallas-New Orleans game. I don't know if you saw that, but that came down to a final shot.
Dude, Boogie and AD, 111 points yesterday combined.
Yeah, I think they combined for like 70 real-life points, too. So, guess that trade did work? Question mark.
I'm interested to see what they do in the offseason. If they keep him, I mean, Alvin Gentry's a terrible coach, so maybe getting a different coach will help, but...
Well, they're going to keep him for sure. They got another year on
they might
Boogie, so...
might trade him. Remember how we were talking about that?
Yeah, I was thinking they might trade him, but I think they might as well wait till the deadline.
Vince Carter did go off as well, yeah, Rashad. Paul Gasol was low-owned and had him in my lineups. He did good. I didn't actually see what Gasol did, but glad he did well. Ginger
Conley went off, played 38 minutes.
55 points. The winning lineup had him and Westbrook, so that no surprise there. John Wall, another 60-point game, back-to-back 60-point games.
Back-to-back 6X for Steph Curry. Isaiah Thomas, 6X.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of big scores yesterday.
Let's jump into today. You got Brooklyn at Detroit. I don't expect a blowout either way here. No way. I shouldn't say no way. I mean, we've seen crazier, but I don't see Detroit being as bad as they are blowing out Brooklyn. Do we have an official word on Reggie Jackson today? Is he playing?
He's not playing. So, he's out.
So Ish Smith, good again. Especially
that's what I have him listed. Actually, I have him listed as out I don't know. I don't know if that's official or not. Yeah, that came out a couple hours ago. He's out for rest. So yeah, I think you can call that official. Ish Smith's got to be in play. 6,100 though is a lot of money for Ish Smith, man.
Upside, yeah, very limited.
A lot of money for Ish. Jeremy Lin, I think, is in play. Same price pretty much on DraftKings for both Ish and Lin. I don't know if I lean one way or the other. If I had to pick, I think I'm going to go Jeremy Lin. I feel like that's more of a fair price. But I guess if you're playing for minutes against a good Brooklyn team, I can see why you'd want to go Ish.
Yeah, see, I would, on FanDuel, I think it's easier to go Ish 5,300. Can he get you 25 points? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you got back-to-back 30-point performances, back-to-back 30-minute performances. I think his role is safe without Reggie Jackson today against Brooklyn. It's not a tough spot for him.
Will Doc sit CP3 and Griffin? That's a good question, actually. They're on a back-to-back, and they're playing Phoenix.
Yeah, and they're in Phoenix, so it could be. There's definitely some concern with that.
And it's a late game.
Detroit as well as the front end of a back-to-back. I don't think there's any real rest concerns besides, obviously, Reggie Jackson. I mean, we saw, I believe they put John Lure in the starting lineup yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yep.
Maybe. So perhaps that continues. Not too sure, but
I had Blake Griffin in my lineups too. That really gets me off of him. Just because I'm thinking.
I wouldn't jump off. Again, another reason why not to build lineups too soon.
No, I'm just thinking prelim builds, but yeah, no, that's a good point, man. Even if he does play, is he going to be limited? You know what I mean? Same with Chris Paul.
Yeah, but we thought all last week. They had a couple back-to-backs last week. They thought they were going to limit their starters. Never happened. So
true. Lure will start again today. They've already said apparently.
He played 16 minutes in that start to Tobias Harris's 30 off the bench. So I imagine it'll be something similar.
Cleveland, Chicago, nationally televised. Rondo, I don't have stats to back this up. I just know this. Rondo loves playing on national TV. So, do you play him 6,500?
He's been playing well. I think he's still a tournament player to get your value. I mean, you look at what he's done over the last 4 games. He's got 2 over 40, 2 under 25 on DraftKings. It's a good spot against Cleveland.
Is it home?
It's also a good spot against Rondo. You look at Kawhi. Yeah, the game's in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of good spots at point guard today.
There is. I love point guard.
I think Rondo's definitely one of them. Rondo and Kyrie, I think, are definitely 2 guys I'm looking at today.
Houston to Portland. Dame, yeah. You can play Dame today. I don't care about Patrick Beverley today. Dame's on another level. Portland is just on a roll right now. They're on a mission to get that into the playoffs. So Dame's not going to be stopped. Dame's not going to be stopped. Clippers.
I'm not going to go on record and say fade Dame. That's just not a smart thing to do today. Can you play Dame and Harden? I don't know. I don't know that you can do that on DraftKings. So
you can definitely do it on FanDuel. It's just a matter of where else you find the value. And then you got Clippers and Hornets. Clippers and Suns. Chris Paul, obviously in play. Great matchup. I think you can... I'm a fade Tyler Ulis today. 7,200 on DraftKings, 62 on FanDuel.
He's going to play 40 minutes again, especially if Barbosa and Booker are both out. They're both listed as questionable right now with the same injury concerns. For Booker, it's an ankle. Barbosa, it's a hamstring. They're not getting Brandon Knight back in the game. Ulis is playing 40 minutes, but it's against Chris Paul, so...
Pat Bev.
I don't think he really gets close to that. 7,200.
Jason just mentioned this. I didn't even think he wasn't even on my radar. But Pat Bev at 4,800. I don't know. I haven't seen. I feel like he's not doing enough offensively right now, but he is in a good spot. So.
There's not really anybody around Patrick Beverley's price that I'm even looking at. Like if you look, he's smack in the middle. Like you go down from Ish Smith at 61, and then you have Pat Bev at 49, and you really have nobody else on the board to really consider until Chris Dunn at 39. So for that fact that he's the only one in that price range, it makes me avoid him even more.
And then this LA-Minnesota game, you got a ton of options here. Just a point guard. You got 4 plays that are viable here. So Ricky Rubio obviously put up a 50 burger last time. You got D'Angelo Russell, who's now shooting guard. So disregard this DVP. Minnesota is actually one of the worst in the league over the last 5 and 10.
Last 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guarding shooting guards. And he's really transitioning well to that off-ball position, which is natural for him.
Yes.
You got Jordan Clarkson at point guard. He had a really nice game against Minnesota last time. Can do it again. And then my favorite play, who's one of my locks again today, I'm going right back, is Chris Dunn.
Right. I just mentioned Chris Dunn. He had how much did he have against Lakers last time?
Let me see.
33 DraftKings points in 35 minutes of action. This game was a 130-119 Lakers win.
Yep.
In Minnesota. Oh no, in LA.
In LA.
So that is a combined 149 points. Or, I'm sorry, 249 points. Now with Clarkson, I think I would like Lynn and Ish Smith over Clarkson for that price point, or even Rondo out of those 4 guys. Those 4 guys are the only 4 guys at 6K on DraftKings, and I think Clarkson's my least favorite. I really do like D'Angelo Russell for the DVP you just mentioned. Minnesota's the top DVP on the slate, last 10 for shooting guards. But you can stack this game. I think you could stack Minnesota and then do a one-off with D'Angelo Russell and start your lineups that way.
Even Larry Nance. Ginger said, fade Dunn and play Tyus Jones. That is an interesting... That is a tournament play for sure. Can definitely do that in tournaments. Dunn, I imagine, will be very high owned today. Short slate. Cheap price. Allows you to pay up to some of the studs. So, absolutely in play.
The thing about Tyus Jones is that he is going to be... They both play off the bench, but Brandon Rush's minutes have just been completely limited. Whereas Tyus Jones isn't really cutting into Ricky Rubio's minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think the most you could see Tyus Jones play
20 minutes.
Is 24 minutes, 20 to 24. That's the ceiling minutes for him. Whereas his floor minutes is probably around 10.
Yep.
So, minimum salary punt against the Lakers backcourt. I think it's worthy of considering. I agree.
Definitely a punt play. I agree. KCP playing against his future team.
Before we move on, I just want to talk punts again. That was one I wanted to mention. The only other one I really looked at as far as mentioned is also in that game, and that's Tyler Ennis. Tyler Ennis has played he's played 27 and 26 minutes in each of the last 2 games, both of which were relatively close games. So he is getting extra run. And for that reason, that takes me off of Clarkson a little bit more. He really only produced in one of those 2 games against Portland, but still, the fact that he's getting big minutes is interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So KCP against Brooklyn, obviously, I mean, the matchup's there. He had he had 30 points last game, still under 5K on FanDuel, 5-2 on DraftKings, but always a tournament play.
Yep, always a tournament play. He broke out of his 3-game slump to go 25-5 last game. 2 for 10 from he shot 22 times against Miami. He goes from taking 4 shots against Chicago to shooting 22 times against Miami. What is the game plan here? I don't know. Anyway, Brooklyn, yeah, he played well against Brooklyn. I think I rostered him that day. It was a short slate as well. I played him. We talk about with Ish starting, it does kind of help him, or it seemingly should help him, but you never know. 5,200 is still worthy of a tournament play. I'd rather play him or Eric Gordon today.
Eric Gordon.
Yeah, I think Eric Gordon's got a safer floor, safer minutes. Actually, no, the minutes are probably the same.
Yeah.
For both.
I actually think KCP probably has a safer floor for minutes. But
yeah, you're right. But as far as fantasy production, safer floor for Gordon. He's getting 30 minutes a game now for this team. So
you got Chicago, Cleveland. So Denzel Valentine at 3,900. He's getting minutes. The problem is what he's doing with them, which is not always a lot.
Right, him and Zipser kind of are in that same role there.
Yep, definitely both punts.
They both play minutes and do little, and maybe one will go off, maybe the other one will, maybe neither of them do. But both Zipser and Valentine are kind of splitting that shooting guard, backup, small forward minutes.
Someone asked, could you play Dunn and Jones? I don't think you played both. That's super punty. I mean, you can, but it's super punty.
The game blows out. That's the backcourt, right?
Yeah,
so
true. I guess you can if you want to go super punty. Pure tournament, obviously.
Yeah, if you think this game's going to blow out, I think Nance, like I said, Tyler Ennis.
I don't see it blown
out. It's on the radar.
I don't see it blown out.
I don't really either, but you got to roster your tournament lineups based on game script. And I like, especially on a 5-game slate, to try to pick which game is going to blow out and have a bench 2-man stack to get my value that way. Instead of picking and choosing 2 or 3 value guys from this team and that team, like trying to stack a couple value guys in a game that I think might blow out, because that is going to give you ultimate upside in your tournament lineups.
You got to mention James Harden, obviously, so he's 12-4. My only concern with Harden, and the reason I'm not on him as of right now, is he did come out and say his wrist was bothering him after the last game.
Yeah, he's definitely dealing with a wrist injury. This is what he said, quotes, he said, "It's pretty tough, I'm not going to lie. I don't feel sorry for myself at all, but the shot is just short and frustrating when you can't really follow through and whatnot. I'm going to continue to go out there and do my best, and honestly, we gave ourselves a chance on Tuesday." Granted, he had a triple-double, so, I mean...
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got to look at it, right?
He said it's hurting him, but he still went out and had a triple-double against Golden State, which is no slouch of a team, so... I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I'm fading Harden on this 5-game slate. Again, if I'm making 3 lineups, I think he's going to be in 2 of them. Unless I really hate my lineups.
I just haven't personally found myself getting him in a lineup yet.
For what it's worth, he was 5 for 20 from the field, 1 for 9 from 3. So that's what he was talking about when it comes to his shot.
Yeah. Then on the reverse, you got CJ McCollum, who's been playing well. 7,200. Price is creeping up a little bit. 76 on DraftKings, but he is going to get Eric Gordon and/or James Harden defense.
Yeah, this could be a good spot for him. I think it's a good spot for Dame and CJ. I think if you're going to fade Harden, that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to play Dame and CJ.
Yep.
I don't mind that at all. I mean, DVP backs it up, and I think this is going to be a good game today. I really do.
And then you got LA Clippers and Phoenix. So Devin Booker back. I doubt he's out today. He was questionable for rest. I don't see him not playing today. Unless there's some underlying problem that I haven't heard of.
Devin Booker, he's dealing with an ankle injury. At least that's what they're saying it is. It could just be rest, but I don't know why they'd be resting their guys when they're so banged up. And they have running 8 deep, you know?
Yeah. And then you got J.J. Redick and Jamal Crawford. And Mike actually talked me onto Crawford over Redick. And the reason for that is his price is, on DraftKings, 400 difference. 700 on FanDuel. And Redick's minutes are pretty cemented. Crawford's obviously going to pick up the brunt of those from Austin Rivers, who's already out today.
Yeah, we'll see some extra run from Raymond Felton as well, since Rivers played some backup point guard. So you'll see, Felton will be the backup point guard of Chris Paul. And will start if Chris Paul does not play, but I'm not going to start any rumors there. But like I said, I think Crawford stands to benefit from the absence of Rivers as far as minutes wise. Now, that being said, he's been playing big minutes. 25 plus in each of the last 9 games. And in those 9 games, he's got a low score of 13 and a high of 40. So definitely still a tournament play. If anybody can do it, if there's any time to roster one of these guys, it's against Phoenix. But dude, I was laughing because I don't think I've ever seen a team try to tank as hard as Phoenix is right now. they're trying real hard. Let's just sign 10-day contracts. They're paying guys to all come off the street so that they can lose.
Yeah, Phoenix really doesn't care.
They care about that lottery ball. That's it.
That's why you see Devin Booker getting 70 of 120 points.
Yep.
Just who cares? Given the team doesn't even care. They care so little about winning. They were all celebrating. I was laughing at that, and Jay Crowder made a comment. It was hilarious, but it's a point for
It's like, you guys realize you guys lost the game, right?
it's a point for another day.
And they're like, dude, that's the point. We're supposed to lose the game. That's why we're doing this.
Just trying to make history while losing.
Exactly.
Rondé Hollis Jefferson against Detroit. I like it. Rondé Hollis has been, dare I say, consistent.
Are we done at shooting guard? I think the only thing else I really have to say about shooting guard is, yeah, never mind. I don't have it. I was gonna say perhaps J.R. Smith, but he's 3,900. That's too much money.
I'd rather pay Crawford.
Yeah, exactly, for the same price. Shabazz Muhammad,
No.
not really getting any more playing time. He's kind of fallen out of rotation with them sort of kind of giving their young guys some go. We didn't talk about anything about Lou Williams, but
Oh yeah, Lou and Eric Gordon.
Lou's minutes have been over 30 the last 2 games. Just kind of, but then before that he was pretty much out of the rotation. So I don't know what's going on with that. Obviously, Lou and Eric Gordon in the cash tournament pivots. Hollis Jefferson. He's a power forward on DraftKings. I tend to feel like he's overpriced, but you look at his field goal percentage and what he's been doing over the last 3 games, and it's pretty interesting, right? So,
Yeah.
been getting you value while shooting under 30 to 40% from the field.
3 of 13.
Taking shots.
3 of 13 his last game.
5 of 15, 3 of 13. He was 9 of 13 against Washington. Then against Phoenix, 2 of 10. 2 of 7, 2 of 6, like really bad shooting performances, but he's just in limited minutes getting double-digit rebounds somehow. Now, against Detroit, he didn't really have a great game. Played 27 minutes, put up 11 DraftKings points. So perhaps there's fade worthiness in him at that price, but it seems like it'd be a smart play, right? If you look at what he's been doing last 5 and his price.
Yeah. LeBron James, Jimmy Butler. I go Jimmy over LeBron today.
Okay. Going up against each other. I think whenever I see something like that, I tend to want to stay away, just like we saw with Kawhi going up against
LeBron.
I'm sorry, Steph going up against Clay, or Steph going up against Harden, or LeBron and Kawhi going up against each other. I tend to stay away from both sides. I think I'd rather play Kyrie over LeBron today, but that's a nice price for him. Just hasn't really been doing it lately.
Yeah. I don't know. I really like Jimmy Butler today. I haven't projected at 5x value, so.
Yeah, again, I think I'm going to stay away from both sides of this. 10K for Butler on DraftKings just feels like a lot for him. I don't remember the last time I saw him there, and it's because he's been playing well.
Yep.
Actually, I don't think I've ever seen Jimmy Butler at 10K this whole season.
FanDuel's tripping with Jimmy Butler's price.
Where does FanDuel have him?
10K.
Yeah, exactly. So it's even more expensive on DraftKings when you consider price, per dollar.
TJ Warren at 66, 75 on DraftKings. I don't look at him on DraftKings at all. FanDuel, I think you can.
I like Warren if Booker's out again.
Yeah. Ariza and
who's going to take the shots? I mean,
you have to. Maybe Warren will go.
He took 20 shots last game. Yeah. Played 40 minutes, took 20 shots, 24 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals. It's a big game, but it's because they needed him to play big minutes. So again, if Booker's out, I'm on Warren. Not as much Ulyss because of Chris Paul, but even then makes me like Warren even more because less of a playmaker with Ulyss. They're gonna need something, right?
Yeah. Do you look at Trevor Ariza or Mo Harkless? Mo Harkless is minimum salary on FanDuel.
Wow. Yeah, I think I'm going to avoid both of that. If I'm going to punt small forward, I think I'm going to look. I don't know. Larry Nance, I think, is cheapest I would go because I don't think there's anybody under 4,600 that I really like that much. Again, you can maybe go Zipser or Valentine, but I still tend to think that their prices are up. Harkless against Houston. I think everybody's in play on Portland going up against Houston. Given the minutes, he's put up points, but he's just he had 14 minutes last game, so hard to be a safe bet. Maybe Karis LeVert against Detroit. I don't know. His price is low enough to be punt worthy at 3,600.
Yeah, Kilpatrick's back, but yeah, you're talking about price. And then you got Brandon Ingram, who's out, so Corey Brewer is starting. Does that put you off Wiggins at all?
Not really.
I don't think so either, yeah.
7,100. What puts me off Wiggins is him, man. Besides that Lakers game,
yeah,
it's been a long time since we saw Wiggins really be worthy of that price. And other than that Lakers game was the only thing that kept his price from plummeting more. Like, it was 6,400 going into that Lakers game, right? And he went and had 50 DraftKings points, and they brought his price back up to 7. So for that reason, I think I'm going to fade Wiggins just because people are going to look at the spot, look at what he did, but for me, I'm just like, that was one game,
At this price, so $7K, the last time besides the Lakers game that Wiggins had 35 points was February 27th for Sacramento.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's a good game. I mean, it's a good place to play him against the Lakers, right?
Yep.
But you're really going to rely on that one game to be the reasoning as to why you think he'll reach value again? I don't feel like that's a safe way of thinking, but we could be wrong.
True. By the way, I don't look at Corey Brewer at all, so don't even consider that. Pretend he's not on the slate.
I think Marcus Morris could be sneaky today.
True that, Marcus Morris.
He's 5,100. He could get you value.
What about Toby against Brooklyn?
Tobias. Tell me you heard that guy, right?
I've heard it.
You watched that Brooklyn game. I know you will. Then you'll hear it. I don't know. Yeah, I think he's in play. He had 41 points against Brooklyn last time they played. He's averaging 37 on the year against them. He is off the bench now, which makes me kind of like him. He'll be matched up with AC and Booker on that second team, which makes me like it even more because I would avoid him against Hollis Jefferson. Even though I wouldn't avoid it, but, I like it more, the fact that he's coming off the bench.
There are so many power forwards in the same spot today. Like, same price.
I know, it's another spot. It's like there's those 4 guys at point guard that are all in 6K that I like, and then power forward in that mid-range, it's going to be a choice. So let's rank these guys. How about...
You got Tobias at 54. You got Mirotic at 52. We'll look at both. 58, 600, same price range. You got, we'll exclude Blake Griffin, obviously.
Gorgie Jang, that's 59.
Yep, Gorgie Jang 59 and 52 on FanDuel. You got where's Randall at? Randall's 67, so a little higher. And then you got Marquise Chris at 54 and 49. And Larry Nance at 46 and 41.
So looking at pure upside, I think Randall stands out, right?
Yep.
But on DraftKings, you're paying, like, you compare him and Ariza, it's another $1,000. So you're paying for that upside a bit. I think you can make a case of Booker's out, just going from Randall to Warren, and having probably safer a bet for 6x. Tobias Harris and Gorgie Jang kind of seem similar to me as far as their profile, what they can do, both in really good matchups, both at home, both proven against these two teams that they can perform. both getting anywhere from 20 to 32 minutes. So that to me is a toss-up between Gorgie Jang and Tobias Harris. Nikola Mirotic, another somewhat tournament play. I think this is a good spot for him against Cleveland.
I like it a lot. I really like Gorgie Dang today as well, though. He's been getting run even in blowouts. He's still got 35 minutes against Portland.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he played 44 last game. That must have been an overtime game. Either way, I like... Gorgie Dang is not going to get you 40 points.
True.
You know, so you play him. He's going to get you minutes. He's going to return value, but he's not going to really go off for you. But he's got a safer floor than Tobias Harris. So maybe that's your tiebreaker based on what type of tournament you're playing. So if you're playing a single entry, a 3-entry max, you can probably get away with Gorgie Dang over Tobias Harris and be a safer bet. You know, you're playing a satellite or something where you need the upside. You know, I think you got to go Toby over Dang.
Just for the upside alone, yeah. So Blake Griffin, obviously, in play right now. Again, it's pure speculation that he's resting. So don't get off of him yet. If he does play, amazing matchup. We talk about targeting the Phoenix front court, and Blake and DeAndre are definitely part of that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Marquise Chris is even in. I mean, you could. I actually no. I'm gonna stay away from Marquise Chris. I'm gonna go with my gut again here. The dude's a hacker. I'm not gonna play Marquise Chris today. Not against Blake.
Me neither. I like Blake Griffin today. If you look at the top play from each position based on last 10 DVP, you have Ricky Rubio going against the Lakers, D'Angelo Russell going up against Minnesota, whatever the small forward is going up against Detroit. So Brooklyn. So that would probably be either Hollis Jefferson or LeVert. Blake Griffin going up against the Suns and DeAndre Jordan going up against the Suns. That's the top DVP based on last 10. So if you're just playing based on that, you know, I usually use it as a tiebreaker, but if you're just looking at that, that's who you'd come out with. His price, you know, too, is nice. Like 8,100 is a nice price. Coming off a 50-point game against Washington, almost had a triple-double last night. This should be a cakewalk for the Clippers, in my opinion. So
you would think.
You would think. Yeah, exactly. You would think, but I don't know. They're not the shutdown defensive team like they used to be. You know, I feel like, well, look, they just got into a real tough game with Washington. That was a fun game to watch.
Last night, yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good game. Also, dude, I want to give a shout out to our winner on Lucky Specialist on FanDuel.
Oh yeah.
We've been chatting it up today. He would like a John Wall jersey, so I respect that. So he's right now picking and choosing his favorite version of this John Wall jersey. So congratulations to you, man. He had a lot of good things to say about us and about this community as a whole. So it's good stuff.
Appreciate you participating in the contest. Congrats.
Yeah, thanks for rocking with us all year. We'll get something going for baseball soon. I'll get some rules out. We're gonna try and reward people on a weekly basis. With like extra points and things like that.
So what that'll do is it'll allow incentive. So if you're kind of late to the party, you missed a week or you joined late, things like that, you can catch up
quicker than for the NBA thing. But yeah, I think we've kind of hit. So Carl Towns, he's a power forward eligible.
Yeah.
10-9. I think you kind of throw him in the pool. Let's rank the studs other than Harden. So Towns, LeBron, Butler, and Lillard. Those four guys.
Towns, Lillard, Butler, LeBron. No. Towns. My personal ranking. Okay, this is not who I... man, this is hard. I really don't know where to play James Harden right now. James Harden would be number one for me. But I'm not rostering him right now. So it's hard for me to say he's number one. I guess on upside, Harden's number one. I go Cat 2, Dame 3, Butler 4, LeBron 5.
Yeah, I think, like I said, if I don't have Harden in my lineup, I want a combination of Rubio Towns or Lillard McCollum. Or I think you can even go Lillard Nurkic. Or McCollum Nurkic. You know what I mean? Like, I think you want to have
part of that stack.
You're gonna need two guys to get you value in order to comfortably fade Harden. Not saying like, like that's to compete with Harden. Like if he decides that he's going to hit value, right? Or if he decides he's going to hit 6x value and you don't have him, you're going to want to have two studs that can give you, 80. So if he gets 60, you're going to want two guys that can give you 80 on your team.
Yeah.
You're going to want 80 out of two guys if he gets you 60.
80 out of two guys. I think you can get that from Dame and CJ. Or
you can.
Do we like a done cat stack?
But that's what I'm saying. Do you feel more comfortable with Harden getting you 60 or Dame and CJ getting you 80?
See, I really don't feel confident in Harden getting 60. I don't know why, but I'm just not confident with that wrist injury. It's a gut feeling. There's nothing more to it. There's no news there, other than what I've heard. So it's just a gut feeling on my end.
So what do you feel most confident in? Harden getting you 60, Dame and CJ getting you 80, or Rubio and Towns getting you 80?
Dame and CJ.
See, I don't necessarily feel confident in any of those. Do you know what I mean? Like, And that's why I think it could be a worthy play. It's not like Westbrook yesterday. We were both looked at each other and were like, yeah, you got to do it. You got to do it. It was just one of those days where like he could have been obviously 15K and still hit value. So, interesting. Yeah, I'm off Jimmy and LeBron. Like I said, I think I'd rather play Butler over LeBron, but I'm off that. And then if you do play one of those three scenarios with Harden, or go Rubio, Towns, or go CJ and Dame, you're really cutting out some centers like Drummond in a great spot here at 8K.
Yeah, Drummond's in a good spot. Nurkic is in a good spot. DeAndre Jordan.
That's another one. You go Blake and DeAndre.
Yep.
Do you go CP3 and Blake? To get you 80.
Blake has the second best matchup behind Karl Anthony Towns, and he's over $2,000. He's $4,000 cheaper on DraftKings, and he's $2,700 cheaper on FanDuel.
Who's this?
DeAndre Jordan, 4K less than Karl Anthony Towns on DraftKings. To me, I actually would rather play DeAndre Jordan. I actually don't even look at Karl Anthony Towns if I'm on DraftKings.
Yeah, no, I don't mind that call. I really don't. I think he's got the best match based on DVP. Then it goes Towns. Then it goes Robin Lopez. Then it goes Drummond. If you look at last 10 DVP, I don't know. I don't know. You have to go Towns today either.
And then you got DeAndre Jordan. Or I'm sorry, Joseph Nurkic in a good matchup against Portland. I see
against Houston.
Sorry, against Houston. Yeah,
yeah.
I like that as well. There's just so much you can do. And I don't think
they recently played, right? Houston and Portland, if I'm not mistaken. No, maybe not.
No, they haven't.
No, I thought they did. So yeah, if you're going to like which game do I target, which teams do I target, looking at my fantasy points projections, every game is above what I call average as far as fantasy totals, which is interesting on a 5-game slate. Generally, there's usually one or two games that you can eliminate. Every game here is worthy of, we've talked about players and all of them, right? Mm-hmm. If you look at teams, the teams that it's telling me that the target, Portland, LA, and Minnesota. And that again is not a surprise, right?
Yep.
But interestingly enough, there isn't any teams that it's telling me to avoid. The largest plus minus goes to Cleveland at -8, which isn't a strong, minus. So,
give me your favorite stack if you have to. So, let's. Actually, no. Let's
again, I think starting this way, going. Oh man, never mind. Can continue.
I don't know. The more I look at it, so I originally had Towns in a prelim lineup. The more and more I look at it, DeAndre Jordan, I think, is a better points per dollar play.
Yep. Again, it also is going to depend. So I think if this game gets out of hand, they're going to sit, man. This is a back-to-back. They just played a hell of a game against Washington, and it's in Phoenix. This game gets out of hand. There's no fourth quarter for these guys. So that to me is a worthy narrative.
Another guy that's going to get slept on today, Mike, is Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez against Drummond, man. Nobody's going to play Brook Lopez today. Nobody. Because you got so many other centers. Brook Lopez is going to be a good play today.
I think he is, too. I think he's a guy off Brooklyn that I like to play. I think you go Lyndon Lopez. Why not? Yeah, I think I'm going to stick to, in the first game, Brooklyn and Detroit, I think I would go. I think you can go Lyndon Lopez. I think you can also go Ish and KCP, and then Tobias off the bench. I think that's a good three-man because Tobias will be one off the bench. The Lakers-Minnesota game, I think you can. The only play I like off the Lakers is D'Angelo Russell. I think there's some value in Tyler Ennis and Larry Nance.
Yeah, Larry Nance. Yep.
Then Minnesota, I like Rubio and Towns. I like Gorgie Jang. I think everybody off Minnesota is in play just based on roster construction. If I had to pick my favorite, it'd probably just be running with the value. I think it's just going Chris Dunn, perhaps Ricky Rubio. But I could see myself not paying down from Ricky Rubio today at 7,800 or going up to Kyrie Irving at 79. I think I like Kyrie Irving. I got like Kyrie Irving at that same price.
Yeah, it's fair. Especially against Rondo, yeah. And then, of course, mentioned that with Rondo, yeah. Rondo plays well on national TV, and he has a good matchup, so.
Right, then again, exactly.
And the Bulls are fighting for a playoff spot still.
I like it.
So. All right. Well,
what else you got as far as stacks? I think Houston. Again, I think it's like you play hard and you don't. I like Eric Gordon. I like. I don't know that I like much else. I think you can go Lou Williams if you wanted to. And we kind of talked about the stacks we like, honestly, just kind of threw out.
So the more and more I build lineups, I've just been playing, trying to think about what I've been doing. Dame and CJ, I think, are locks in my lineup. So I'll give you guys my locks as I usually do now. Chris Dunn. Chris Dunn's my lock. He has not moved from my lineup since last night. Chris Dunn is a lock for me. The rest I've moved around, and I think as I've come to it, Rondé Hollis-Jefferson is the only other guy that has not moved from my lineup. So I go Rondé Hollis. So I have Dunn and Hollis-Jefferson. I think I'm... man, dude. I think I lock in Dame, and I think I lock in CJ.
This is an interesting 5-game slate. Like I said, all these games are worthy of players, so it's not limiting the pool. So stacking might not even be the way to go today. You might want to play this slate like you would an 8-game slate, just because there's so many players in play. The only reason we stack on short slates is because you can eliminate games. You can eliminate poor fantasy games, but I don't think you can really do that today. So again, might be a slate to get away from the stacking. Obviously, 2-man stacks. I like doing a 2-man stack with one guy off the bench. As far as targeting usage, I like to follow game script and again do a bench 2-man stack in a game I think could blow out, like this Clippers and Phoenix game. So definitely some strategy involved. If you're playing just one lineup, play really, really light. And again, it goes without saying, just continue to play light throughout the rest of the basketball season. We're just
at least until playoffs.
Start winding down. Yep, until playoffs, we kind of know what to expect as far as minutes. Start winding down. Get your roster construction, get your process down for when playoffs roll around. For me today, I haven't done any roster building, but I could see myself sticking with the 3 lineup strategy and going, instead of like trying to make the lineups about the same, maybe go off 2 or 3 players, maybe just have 3 completely different ones, and play light, and hopefully hope that one of them really hits big. So maybe go play in some high risk stuff.
Okay. You're doing a lock show again today?
No, not today. Okay. Got class today.
That's
class
right.
For the next 2 weeks.
That's right. Mark is going back to class for what, web design?
We're working with Dreamweaver, so yeah, I guess coding and things like that.
So, no class, or I'm sorry, no lock show.
No class. Woo!
No class, yeah. But as
tomorrow, though.
Yep. So tune in tomorrow as always. Mike put a couple people onto some good plays yesterday, so always good there. Site is in the process, man. We have a guy.
It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. Just continue to keep an eye out for the progress.
Yeah. So site is underway. Exciting news. Baseball projections will be out tomorrow for those of you that are in Slack and in the group. Obviously, if you would like that, if you're a member already, that's included. No additional fees, no nothing. You're good to go. If you would like to join us further, obviously, first off, thank you for watching the videos, supporting us this way, and joining the Facebook group, all that. But if you would like to go a step further, that link down below is the PayPal link. Subscribe there. Gets you everything, gets into Slack, which is the place to be, I'm telling you. I think they're still chopping it up right now. Yep, 38 new messages. Still going. Lineup building.
Yeah, so what you're looking at is just a bunch of people that are building lineups together, back and forth with talking plays all day long. This is 24/7 DFS building, lineup building, support group.
Yep.
Just like having fun, really. It's awesome, man. There's really nothing else like it.
So a lot of good things to look forward to. Like I said, you get a 7-day free trial. If you don't enjoy it, cancel. And with that, you get after that it's only $9.99 a month, so 33 cents a day. So appreciate you guys tuning in again. Again, shout out to Albert Sucio Beats for that dope intro. You'll hear it again on the outro if you would like to stay and listen to it, because I like it so much. So look forward to talking.
Yeah, man, Sucio Beats. Glad you have a part of the team, man. We'll come up with some cool ideas on how to make it when we come through baseball, make things even more interesting using those beats. So
yeah, we got
I love this. I love what I'm hearing.
This dude's got a ton of beats to play with, so we can definitely go from there. So if you missed the intro, stay tuned for the outro, and appreciate you guys sticking with us. Have a good day.